This guy. We all know him really well, don't we? If you're anything like me, you have a complicated relationship to this piece of plastic. This is a rectangular piece of plastic that is known throughout the world. It is virtually universal. If they were to send it out on a spaceship, along with all that other information identifying the human race, a credit card would also be on this spaceship. Now, I would like to relate to you a little tale. Something that happened to me when I was in LA. I'm gonna put this wallet in my back pocket. I don't remember quite why I was doing what I was doing. I tend to do things sometimes and forget why I did them. But I was, oh yes, I remember now. I couldn't use my credit card in LA because there were no, I can't even remember why. But I do remember this. I was using my debit card at the grocery store to get cash back so that I could spend the cash at the local burrito stand where they made the best burritos I've ever had in my life. It was actually an illegal operation. I could put this down now. I'll bring it back up. But it was an illegal operation where these Mexicans were like these guerrilla burrito makers, and they would come out of their car, their van, and they'd set up shop behind a dollar store and make the mad, crazy, dope burritos. And I would walk over there, and having spent many years in the restaurant industry, I'm like looking for this sign that says A or B or grade pending. But of course, there's no such thing. Now, if you are in LA and you happen to have a burrito or Mexican food at a burrito truck or a burrito stand, they are not the same, right? These street burritos and street tortillas and street whatevers, they are not of uniform quality. And I had to learn the hard way. You know, this is a kind of rite of passage, an initiation process where you get mediocre burritos and then you move toward higher quality burritos, maybe 7 or 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, but you always have that dim, hungry intuition that there's a better burrito waiting for you somewhere if you keep looking. Well, it just turned out that there was a better burrito for me around the corner. And I went there and I busted out my Espanol and had a great time with the people behind the stovetop. And, you know, initially I was like trying to finagle good deals using my charm, and that worked, except not for the really cute Latina. She didn't quite let me get away with that, but we had a good vibe anyways. And I would just eat those burritos, and I would get the money for those burritos at the local supermarket using my debit card. But then, at the beginning of the month of July, I couldn't use my debit card anymore. Why? I don't know. I couldn't get cash back. I was stranded, and I wanted my burritos because my burritos were dinner. And the great thing about these burritos is that you could put the onions and the peppers on the grill, and then they get sauteed, and then you put them on the burrito, and then they put all this sauce, and it was so fattening and greasy and the best thing I've ever fucking had. And then I would go over and get their guacamole avocado sauce and the little pico de gallo, and shit was good, bro. And then every once in a while a cop car would come. Well, cops are everywhere in LA, so there wasn't every once in a while, and there were fucking helicopters up there like it was 1984 dystopia, except it's gonna be 2084, mark my words. And every time I saw a cop, a helicopter, I was just like, fuck you. Because it just, you feel like you're just like this animal down on the prairie, and there's these hawks constantly circling you, ready to pick you off like you're some little fucking weasel. And I was eating my burritos, and I was loving it. It's a really good time in my life, and I couldn't get money for my burritos. Why? Because my bank sent a letter to my address in New York. It said, we are now sending you a new debit card with a chip on it. And you cannot use your older debit card. You have to use the new debit card. Now, if you know me and my relationship to chips, my relationship, oh, that was fucking dope, wasn't it? That was good. My relationship to chips. Right? I'm not fond of these things because we are about halfway now. It used to be gold. Then it was reserve notes. And now it's this dude. A card. And then it's chips on that card. And then you've seen my other video. I got microchip today. Wahoo, woo, woo. Chip there. And then we know it's chip here. Chip here. Lots of relationships. So I was really irritated when I found that out. And I can't remember what I did to circumvent this problem. But it's a tangled relationship, as you know, as we all know, between ourselves and our cards. Now, as if that were not enough, I had another experience recently when I went to the ATM, right? And you know, when I go to the ATM, I am actually really hyper-vigilant. Because I realize that this is a time when someone could be in a neighboring apartment with a telescope focused on that ATM machine and looking at me pressing in my numbers, looking at the card's number, and then juxtaposing those, and then forging a plastic synthetic credit card that is a duplicate of my own, or debit card, excuse me, and then going down there and withdrawing all $212 from my account. So you gotta be vigilant. And also one time, I gotta say, I'm a very nice person, but the one time I actually got I kind of flipped out on one person, is I was making a deposit of a good amount of money for myself, few hundred dollars after waiting tables. And this guy comes up to me at 3 in the morning, because I get off work at like 2 or 3 in the morning, at an ATM machine, no one else is around, and I just had to scare him off. I was like, what the fuck, man? You know, I was really pissy. Anyways, maybe I'm a little excited right now. I'm very energetic. I do this meditation practice where I'm able to actually juice my brain, literally juice it with kind of, I don't know, hyper-electrified cerebrospinal fluid. It goes up there and it just blossoms. You know, the crown chakra. This is really supposed to be esoteric knowledge, but I really can't stand that whole notion that an evolutionary mechanism that's intrinsic to the human physiology is so occulted that we think that it's reserved for a special few elites in monasteries somewhere. No, I want you to know about it. You can do that. You can take it. It's like plugging electricity up your anus, and it goes right up your spine into your brain, and it's fucking amazing. Although actually I don't plug it. It's not like my anus is plugged into a cord. It's more like the top of my head is. It's more like a top-down thing. It's really awesome. So I went to the ATM machine. Right. Now, you can't see the screen. You can just see my card, and the chip is on the other side. And I would love to show you the name of my bank, but I won't, because again, probably breaking some law. And I put my card in, and it says, welcome to the bank and everything like that. And it asked me for my code. I put my code in and my PIN number, and the next thing I know, I hear a beep, which is new. Never heard that beep before. And there is a laser that comes out and gives me a retinal scan. I think it's a laser, right? It's apparently some kind of information coordinate system that coordinates a retinal scan with the thermal imprint of my finger when I press the button. And the correlation of those two data sets forms an impression. And you know what the next thing happens when I'm looking at the screen? You are not in the right mood. You are not in the right mood. For what? So, you can kind of imagine my reaction to that. I was a little... What the fuck is that? I'm not in the right mood for what? So, I take my card and I put it in there again, press my code, and get the retinal beep scan and the thermal imprint, and you are not in the right mood. Third time, because we all know how this goes. The 2 times are not enough. The third time you put it in, I put it in, you were not in the right mood. What the fuck is that? So I can't get my money. At one point it's a chip at a supermarket, and now I'm not in the right mood, and I can't get my money. So I press a few different buttons, but it's nothing. It's one of those situations like when your computer's frozen and you press all the buttons that you want and the screen stays frozen, and it's that little spinning wheel over and over and over again. You are not in the right mood. So I keep my money, go back to my apartment. Next day, I call up the only person I think I can talk to about this, which is a physician friend of mine who has an office in the city. And so I set up an appointment with him. A few days later, whatever, go into his office. Really nice guy, has the typical, white trench coat Indian guy. His name's Rajneesh Gupta or something like that. He's a buddy from a while back, and I talked to him. Really sweet, nice guy. And I asked him, what's this thing about the mood? Right? And he tells me this. It's part of a citywide program where the government, the municipal government of New York City, is working in conjunction with the banks to improve the mood of all the people in Manhattan. But you literally cannot withdraw money unless you are in a certain mood. And I'm like, well, what is this mood that I need to be in to withdraw or deposit or do any kind of a transaction? And my friend Rajneesh says to me, well, they're still working on the system. They're still trying to, iron out a few kinks. There's still some bugs. It's in its beta stage. But essentially, the idea is that you cannot deposit or receive money unless you are in a good mood. You have to basically have your energy high. You can't go to the ATM with any kind of negative vibes in you. And it's part of a citywide initiative to improve the behavior of New Yorkers, and we figure that the best way to do that is to actually annex behavioral modification with monetary transaction. So that every time you purchase anything, this is no longer the beta program, but it's the final version of the program. Whenever you purchase anything, whenever you receive any funds, you have to be in a good mood. Now for me, I don't know about you, but I'm really fucking tired of people telling me what mood I should be in. Have you ever noticed that? On Facebook, for example, everybody's policing everybody about the mood that they're supposed to be in. Right? If you notice, for example, identity politics, where citizens police each other all the time, that it's gotten to the point where we're so adequately policing one another in each other's expressions, thoughts, feelings, moods. And now every time I want to withdraw money or deposit money, I have to be in the right mood. And all I know really is that it's some kind of good mood that I'm supposed to be in. According to what, I don't know, but I guess everybody kind of universally knows what a good mood is. Every time I purchase something in the store, just a few years from now, I'm gonna have to be in a good mood. Every time I go through the subway booth, I'm gonna have to be in a good mood. I won't be able to get into the subway car unless I'm in a good mood. I won't be able to say hello to anybody unless I'm in a good mood, because if I say anything that's not in a good mood, money will be withdrawn from my account. And of course, if money is withdrawn from my account and I have a stiff penalty because I've been in a bad mood, then I'm gonna have to go to the bank in a good mood and try to argue with them in a good mood about how I shouldn't have my money taken away from me because I wasn't smiling to the person in the subway. Right now I actually feel a set. I feel good. Right now, I feel that I'm in a good mood. I have a life coach. He's been helping me to get in a good mood all day long. I've been watching the best programs on TV, and there is no doubt that sadness is ever going to get a foothold in my soul again, because I'm going to be in a good mood the rest of my life. I'm even told that there are bonus points for being in a good mood all the time. That if I'm in a good mood for a whole year straight, I'll get a $10,000 bonus added to my savings account. I'll have more spending power on my credit card. My credit card rating will increase. And if I'm in a good mood for 5 years straight, there's probably no telling what I could do. I could probably run for office. I'm really enthusiastic about being in a good mood all the time. There's nothing like a good mood. A good mood is the best. I can't even remember the last time I was feeling sad. But there's nothing like the good mood that I've got today. I'm gonna have tomorrow, and I'm gonna have for years. It's gonna just be good moods all the time. And I don't care if the police need to police my moods, and if other people need to police my moods, because my moods are gonna be good. They're not even gonna be able to touch how good my moods are. So I would suggest to you that upon finishing this video, you get in a good mood too. Because if you don't get in a good mood and say the right things that are part of the right mood, the good mood, I am going to report you